part of something.
Amen to that one, brother.
Um, and it's almost as if like a lot of these crazy people have also just banded together, right? To the point where like it's like and I don't know, but it's like from my perspective, it's like yeah, the U.S. is on like imminent brink of civil war. Like it's just like what the fuck's going on?
It does. Like it's starting to feel that way. And there's like literal fucking like subliminal fucking manifestations of it too, because they're fucking literally filming a movie about it. I don't know if you
Yeah.
Yeah,
know that.
Alex Garland, yeah.
That is disturbing to me. Like why in one of the most like intense fucking periods of like the
yeah,
last
yeah.
10 years would you release this?
I know why, because his last movie bombed. Actually, two of his last movies did dog shit, so now he's trying to be edgy.
I
He,
don't know,
he
man.
did
It's
28 Days
fucking
Later and
weird.
shit like that.
And then I don't know. You guys know about that movie that the Obamas directed that came out like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah,
No.
I heard about that. It was a Netflix film.
Yeah, it's called Leave the World
Hey,
Behind, and
hey,
it's
everyone,
literally
welcome
like
to
a
Info
fucking,
Flash. Say, did
you
y'all lose
know,
power yesterday too?
end of times movie
Yeah, when the lights
that
went
the
out there, I was
Obamas
cooking dinner.
directed.
Oh, well, if we're getting specific,
Well, they
I was making
produced
a
it.
half-eaten burrito I found wedged in my couch
Okay, yeah,
cushions.
whatever.
Yeah,
They had a hand in it,
yeah.
and it I haven't seen it, but from
Get
what I
out
understand, it's
of
like
my food!
a
Stop!
fucking EMP hits the fucking United States or whatever, and it's just fucking, I don't know, the end times. I don't even know what that entails in the movie necessarily, but and people think that that it's like predictive programming or some shit.
Yeah, but see, I also think that, like, so, if those movies came out, like, 20 years ago, no one would care. I just think it's, like, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think a lot of them are releasing these movies because because of the tensions going on, that would pick up more attention. I don't necessarily think it's predictive programming. I just think they're being assholes and picking the worst time to do it on purpose. That's all.
Yeah, who knows? It's very weird and disturbing to me nonetheless. Like, um, I think I need to fucking get off Twitter because a lot of my like paranoia is like coming from there.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just
dude.
like
Like,
seeing like this shit nonstop daily. Like, um, it's definitely taking a toll on my mental a little bit, but it's also like kind of kicking my ass into gear a little bit and making me feel like shit. I need to start fucking drinking more water, cut way back on this fucking
Hmm.
caffeine, cut out some of my vices, get in better health, and like learn how to fucking, shoot these guns better and shit. Like I don't, so I'm not sure. Uh, it's not totally bad, but definitely growing like more like concerned about the state of the United States specifically, but also just the entire world.
we're not the only country with those issues, especially when it comes to immigration and other shit like that. There's a lot of other countries with the
Um,
exact same problem.
I just had one comment on social media. Like, I find like this isn't Twitter exclusive, but like social media, I find it's just sometimes the way like the fucking algorithms and the AI like populate like new content for you on any given platform. It just I find with and this isn't necessarily your experience, but just in general, it like kind of creates a bit of an echo chamber where it's like you look at
Exactly.
something and it
Hmm.
gives you more content about that thing, right? Because there's
Yeah.
just so much out there. So that's my only thing that I
I
potentially
think,
happens with like a lot of people. Like to be honest, my mom's kind of going crazy right now because she's in an echo chamber
I
of
think
just like going on Twitter, and it's just like stop it.
it's interesting
It's
because
definitely happening to me, but
X,
I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm aware of it. Like
yeah, yeah.
I'm self-aware and I know that it's a thing. So, I try to be reasonable and
Hmm.
and just acknowledge the fact that I'm literally like being fed a fucking loop of like the worst shit going on
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
world right now. Like,
Dude, a lot of it's
Um,
wrong too. So like, let's say you're stuck in that echo chamber. A lot of people are only repeating what other people say, like due to either monetization reasons, or they actually believe it, or whatever their fucking reason is. Like there is a lot of, and I hate using this term because it's overused as fuck, but like literal misinformation is spread
Mhm.
like so bad instantaneously. Like especially between the conflict in the Middle East, like there is so much misinformation there. It's fucking crazy. Like,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
spread on purpose, and it's so out of hand. It's to the point where you're like, "There's no way people believe this." Sure enough, like either A, they do, or they propagandize it, whatever the fuck the word is. But they basically like either A, do it on purpose, or they just actually believe it. You know, it's super fucking gross and it's annoying as hell.
Yeah, I think that the Israel and Palestine shit is like definitely like a big factor into why I'm like feeling the way I am because I guess like one side of the propaganda is like suggesting that there is like a large amount of like Palestinian slash Hamas supporters in the states, specifically in like the large cities that
That's what
just, like-
concerns me is that like it's one thing to support Palestinians, it's another to support Hamas. I mean, like unfortunately, when you support Palestinians, you're almost supporting Hamas because they voted them in. So like Hamas was running the show over there, you know. They voted
the
for
thing
it.
is I don't necessarily. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut.
No,
you.
sorry, you're good. I was trying to where the fuck was I getting at? But yeah, it's like one thing to support, like, oh, let's try not to kill civilians. Sure, that's absolutely true. Although that never happens in war. Civilians always die in war. There's like nothing you can do about it most of the time, especially if you're invading, right? And then there's people who support Hamas. That's just weird to me because I don't know why I'd ever support terrorism because that's what it is, right? Like this, when they went to Israel and killed like 1,000+ people and then abducted 200, it wasn't like revolution. It was just like no, it's just pure terrorism. Like there's nothing good about that at all. So people that support that shit weird me the fuck out 100%.
What I was gonna add is that I don't even necessarily support Israel either. It's not even like
It's not your
it's
battle.
not even like that for me. It's more so that like I think there's almost like a fucking a cold like culture war in the States right now. And I think that like as a white person I will be like seen by these people and they will think like, okay, this guy is white, so he fucks with Israel and like like
But
I don't
okay,
know.
that it's
You know what
funny
I'm
that you
saying?
say that though, because I've noticed, and if you actually look at a lot of the protests going on, like whether they're blocking our highways or going into fucking state capitals and weird shit like that, if you actually
Yeah.
look at the protesters, I'd say a good 75% or more are Caucasian. I'm not shitting you. You should actually look at. They're usually dressed down to where they're covering their face and shit, but they're all Caucasian. That's the part that confuses me. There's definitely a good percentage that literally are from Palestine, or they are Muslim or something of that nature. But a lot of them that are protesting are not even of that at all. They're just, and I'm gonna get back to where Buggin was getting at, where people want to be a part of something. That's what I think happens. Those people want to be a part of something, and that's when you have like the same people as LGBTQ or whatever, right? That group even themselves supports Palestinian, Muslim, and Hamas over there, but obviously that's a huge conflict of interest because if you support them, I mean, those people throw homosexuals off the roof. It's like documented, like they kill homosexuals. They don't even like them over there. So it's like
Yeah.
that ironic group association shit because they want to just be a part of something. And that part bothers me because not only is it ignorant, it just doesn't make any sense for you to do it at all. It's not in your best
feel
interest.
like liberal like fucking thoughts are like lacking like nuance. Like they just fucking like support anything that's like liberal. Like, they don't
They
think
support
about
anything
it
that
at
is the
all.
opposite. Yeah, it's just fucking it. Yeah, it's I don't even disagree with that. I don't. I'm not saying they all do it, but obviously a humongous
Right.
percentage do. You know, they
Yeah.
think like this
That's
sounds like
exactly why
yeah.
they would fucking support a fucking culture that would kill them in their country because they think it's like the morally sound thing to do, and the liberal thing to do is to fucking be pro Palestine.
Yeah, no, they
That's as
actually,
simple as
yeah,
it
those
is. Like,
people think that the Ukraine and Russian conflict is the same as the Israel and Palestine conflict, and they're not even remotely the same in any way, shape, or form. They're completely separate conflicts, but they will think that they are the same thing. They will think that if they support Ukraine, they need to support Palestine, or vice versa, which those two are completely separate scenarios entirely.
Yep.
Yeah, just any extremism I find is like it's just emphasized these days for some reason. Again, I can't tell if it's just like the natural progression of like human psychology, where it's like, you know, just I don't know, like I'll use it as like an example, but like a bad thing or a bad, you know, I don't want to say like political parties because it's stupid, but like a really bad thing happens, right? But like here, okay, as an example, like some crazy Republican shit happens. So then some crazy liberal shit happens, and then some crazy conservative shit happens. And it's like this ping pong, and it's like you really look at majority of the population is most people are not on either side of that, right? They're relatively in the middle. Relatively, right? You may have beliefs on certain topics on one side of the scale and other side of the scale, right, Alex? Like you probably believe in,
Well, typically,
you know,
most
maintaining leniency on like gun regulations, all that stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
Which is, you know, ultimately like a Republican sided things, but I'm sure you probably like you don't want to murder all the gays. Maybe you do, but like, you know what I mean? Like it's being just a normal human pretty much puts you in the middle.
No, it's the
That's it.
extremism from both sides that cause the issue, and that's what pushes us
Exactly.
in the middle. Because
That's
you're
what
right,
I mean.
you're right. Because you start talking about the conservative shit. Like I'm conservative, but I don't give a fuck about abortion, and I don't really care if people are
Yeah.
gay. I just don't want to shove down my throat. That's all. I just like,
Yeah.
I just want it to be like kind of the way it was for like 20 years ago, but like obviously not to where like we're bashing gays. I just don't want it to be where like everything has to be gay now. It's like no in between. It's either like no one can be gay or like everyone's
Well, and that's what I mean.
gay.
That's what I mean, right? So it's like, but now it's moving towards like, you know, again, this is just echo chamber, but it's like, yeah, no one can be gay, and basically, the U.S. is going to be a Christian state.
My name.
You know what I mean? And it's just like that's extremism, right?
That is,
and like, it's not in the benefit of the country.
Well, yeah, and then that bothers me too, because I think that like obviously the U.S. has been like a majority of Christian. I don't even know what the percentage would be, but obviously a majority of the U.S. for some time has been Christian. And like even though I'm not really Christian anymore or whatever, I don't know how many beliefs, it doesn't bother me. I think it's just like when people get so bothered by it, like people just like they hate it, like they don't even want to say like under God or whatever. And to me, it's just like I don't know, dude. It's just like it's the Pledge of Allegiance. It's not a big deal. Like I don't think it's that big of a deal. Just do it, dude. Like U.S. is a great country if you just kind of like learn to get along with everyone. It works pretty well. But I don't know. Some people they fucking hate that kind of shit. And to me, it's just like I hate to be that guy, but I'm also just kind of like, well, I mean, there's like 100-something other countries, bro. If it ain't suiting you, you can always just try out another one, see how it goes for you. I don't know. I hate people want to change so much to fit it to some. They'll be like, well, you know, like especially when it comes to, like communism or some shit like that. They're like, communism works great here and here and here. It's like, all right, well, go move to one of those countries and do it there. You know what I mean? Like we're doing this over here because we don't want to do that shit. So if we're gonna do that shit, just go over there and let's know how it goes. If it gets cool, we'll come visit. If not, like we don't care. You know, just, that's all.
And the thing is, like communism and like socialism are just fucking buzzwords, right? Like
True. No, you're absolutely right. They are.
any of the things that like, you know, sorry, I shouldn't say any of the things because that implies I know what every single political candidate said at any given moment in time. And said that's what their standing is for election. But like, again, this is differing opinions, but like
At all foods, nature.
healthcare, universal healthcare for U.S. citizens, is that communism? Is that socialism?
I think that I agree with you. I think that's the only aspect. See, you know what's funny is like you have universal healthcare in Canada, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you, like I think the only side effect is you have like insane wait times or something like that.
It's
I mean, we
just
have
because
wait
like
times here,
there
too.
tends to be that's the thing. There just tends to be like shortages of labor like fucking anywhere in this goddamn earth.
Yeah, and so like I think that's the only thing our country's really missing is some form of universal like healthcare. It's just like we're so built on capitalism though, it's really hard to throw that in the mix. Honestly, it should just be government ran. I feel like I feel like energy should be fucking government ran. I feel like we should have nuclear power plants everywhere because that shit's just would be so much easier and cost effective and just smarter because nuclear power is like superior now. And it's not like we're gonna have fucking earthquakes, so I mean, just don't put them on a fault line. We'll be okay. I don't know. I feel like that's like healthcare is the only thing I really bitch about severely in this country. I think is bad, and I have good healthcare too. It's just I know other people don't. Like they have insane deductibles and shit like that, or they don't have healthcare at all, and that is obviously just fucking dumb. Especially for how much we pay in taxes. You'd think like I don't know. We spend a lot of money on dumber shit. I think universal healthcare would be pretty smart, even if it doesn't cover 100%. Like it should just be some basic form of healthcare.
It's just like, yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like things that like are confusing, right? They're like, you know,
Well,
like, there's just like satire in certain ways. Like, because again, it's the buzzword of the communism, right? Where it's like you have this centralized system in place that's controlled by the government in the aid of, but generally it's due to, you know, an accumulation of the entire populace to aid that service. And maybe by some definition that is some level of communism, but it's just like what do you mean? That's like this always gets me, right? So like I just had a kid, okay, I paid $0 to have my child.
Yep.
But it's like I don't know, I've read online it's like $20,000 in the US to have a kid. I know you guys maybe aren't about to have kids, but it's like it's just a weird thing where it's like, you know, there's actively on like Fox News, they're specifically saying, yeah, right, Fox News, so US, it's like there's, you know, we're in a stage, or the US is in a stage right now where you guys are having like a population degradation. But then to have a kid, you have to have $25,000, and cost of living went up, and food went up, and blah 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 blah, and it's like, because you can't do it. So it's just like
I really wish I understood how like how that works. I'm assuming that you guys just get taxed heavily in certain areas to pay for that, and
I wouldn't even say heavily, but there's certainly some portion of like income tax and property taxes that more than likely go towards it. Yeah. But it's one of those things again where people like imply where like that's like some crazy situation. Like I don't want to be taxed more. People are scared of that word too, right? Taxed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No shit. For sure.
Where again, like it's people also don't realize this, that the line between poverty and middle class is eliminated. It does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
You're basically at the poverty line, or you're upper class, or you're just like stupid rich.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it feels like.
And it's like it's like it's like these people on Twitter where it's like, I don't know, they're making fucking nothing and they're scared about taxes. It's like, no, like be like all these systems that are like a, you know, that could aid majority of the populace but is being like propaganded to because of taxes. It's like, no, you're foolish, because like any third party privatized healthcare you're probably paying into
you're removing
way
from
more,
your paycheck. You're getting
way more than any taxes you're gonna pay to the government.
It's pulling from your paycheck anyway. That's what happens. And I don't lose money on my taxes. I don't know how motherfuckers do, but that shit ain't happened to me. But yeah, it gets pulled from your paycheck anyway, technically, depending on what it is. My healthcare doesn't. It's like literally entirely free. But California taxes the fuck out of your paycheck wages anyway, so I might as well be getting fucked in my ass each time.
Yeah, like what is California income tax?
I don't even fucking, I'd have to look it up, but it's, let's see.
But yeah, like, so again, it's just to the point where, like, I've always said it, it's like extremism is just the danger, right? Whether it's Hamas or it's Putin or it's fucking Karen at the grocery store fucking picking out eggs, like, it's just, it's that's the enemy. And people need to realize that. Not the conservative, or like the conservatives versus liberal or Republican, blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck that. Like, that doesn't matter. It's like, watch out for the crazy people.
Yeah. I think like in the fucking public and social media sphere, like we're not allowed to be like nuanced human beings. Like you literally get like fucking grouped into being like an extremist of whatever if you like I don't know, don't agree with someone's side.
Yeah, you have to be either full this way or full that way, and if you're in between, you're fucking up. Is
But,
basically how it's put out.
That kind of like doesn't really matter, I guess, because I guess
the end
what
of the
I'm
day, you're
talking
voting.
about is like people. Like if you were to go online and I don't know, try to fucking like have a discourse with someone where you're like disagreeing with whatever they are and whatever that is that aligns with certain side, like you will then be like treated as if you are like absolutely an extremist of the opposite, and which is kind of what I mean. I'm saying like we don't really get to be like people with nuanced like opinions on things in the like social media and public sphere, I feel like. But ultimately that isn't really that big of an issue. It's just something that I find frustrating. Yeah, because I definitely have nuanced like opinions on a lot of political shit, or just like my political stance would ultimately be a very mixed one, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it just
like you said, most people are, I guess, like that.
yeah,
At the end of the day,
it's not complicated, right? Like you don't have to be like a saint, but like if you just like you said, I think you said it like earlier, Alex, where it's like you generally want like good well-being of people around you and their living situation, and whether it's your own singular environment in your state or your country or whatever, it's like the world, it's like, yeah, I think that's a fair thing. I think you like, yeah, I don't really want people to die by getting shot or like that's fine.
Yeah, I wish we could have a perfect world where everyone could have their way and be content, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like it.
No, and that's what I mean, right? It's
the only
it's
like
a
marginalized
loud
group
bunch.
that I actually like have like real issues with is the fucking transgender community, and like even that, like I don't really care. Like I think someone would be smoking beans to call me like transphobic, but I'm sure they would if they got a chance to like hear what I think about it, I suppose. But like I do respect like, or I can respect anyone, and I'm like okay with people being transgender, but I think that there are like blatant issues with it, and I would like speak on that and probably be called transphobe or whatever. But I mean, I don't know.
I could obviously get along with a transgender person, but if someone actually asked me how I felt about it, they'd get pissed off.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah,
They would think I'm an asshole. Yeah.
I've
It's just
worked
like,
with
yeah.
like 2 trans people, and I treated them with the same respect as anyone that ever comes in through the door of Domino's, and they didn't think I was transphobic, I'm sure, because they all liked me, and like they knew that I was cool with them and respected them and shit as just a human being. And we never got into like politics of it and stuff like that, which was, I don't want to talk about that stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. It's
but yeah, I mean, as far as like any other marginalized group, like I can really fuck with them all. I love nothing more than like fucking chill fucking black people that I can vibe with, like black people are awesome. Are awesome. I know more gay people now than I ever have in my entire life, and they're all my fucking love and shit. From work mostly. I don't know why.
Domino's just tracks.
So, it's mostly lesbians, but I feel like gay people have won their conflict. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they can like chill, honestly. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, I truly think they've like won their battle. And if they think that like the only way to truly win their battle is to fucking sway everyone into respecting them, then they'll never
Oh, they'll never
be able to win
No,
in
nope.
their minds, you know? Because they're
I mean,
not gonna get
Yeah,
everyone.
they're like trying to remove racism, and racism's been around since the beginning of time. It's just like retarded.
Yeah, you saw
to think
David
you can say
Guetta.
that. Wait, what?
I don't know if you guys ever saw that meme where it was.
What?
This is so old. Sorry, I'll post it. But it was like, David Guetta. I think that's his name, right? The fucking
yeah,
like,
the
DJ idiot.
Yeah.
There was. I think this was after like. Fuck, what's his name now? Shit. George something. The black guy that got killed.
Yeah, George Floyd.
Floyd?
Yeah.
Floyd. Yeah. Okay, it is Floyd. Okay. It was like after that he's like, yeah, this is for George Floyd. I just hope we can live in a world where like racism doesn't exist or whatever. But it was like the way it comes off is so weird. And it's like, didn't you hear on that day that racism was solved, guys, by David Guetta?
Oh, I know the. Well,
Here, I'll
there's
post it
that
in the
meme
fucking-
of like that dude holding the fucking picture that says, like, it's like a sign that says "Stop Racism."
I love that. Oh yeah, I posted that here. I posted it twice. I love that
Here, I
one.
posted it.
Oh shit.
Oh,
This
God.
record
And just like the trends, just watch it. It's a
in
perfect
honor
video.
of George Floyd. And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
No fucking way. That nigga, no. Oh my god. What a piece of shit, dude.
Jesus.
Oh
You
my
fucking ended
God.
it, man.
Thank God.
But that was years ago. No, this is what I mean. Where, like, here, like as an example, and again, this is back to extremism. What do you guys think of feminism? Feminists.
I have not met a single woman that genuinely thinks feminism is a real thing. Like, I've
Yeah,
never met a
I've-
woman that's just like, women can do anything, because like the moment you go ask them to do like a hard oil rigging job or some shit like that, they can't even physically do it. So it's just like, realistically, they deserve every right, of course, and they do, as far as I fucking know in America. But you know, I mean, the only thing that they can complain about now is abortion, seeing as that Supreme Court made that fucking ruling here in the U.S. But I think women can do things that men can't do, and men can do things that women can't do. I think it's just that simple. I just don't think that everyone being completely equal is a real thing. It's not like possible. I mean, I guess it can be for very few, but
Yeah,
So-
I would say for the most part, it's definitely fried and kind of just like unnecessary. However, like, much like what Luther said, like I've never met an actual feminist like in my life.
Security or security? Thanks to
But I am from, you know, I'm from the South, so I feel like that might be a little less common here.
oh,
But yeah, as far as I'm aware, just like what Luther said, aside from the abortion thing, like I don't see how like women are like oppressed in any way or fucking, you know, unable to flourish in their lives. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So, the meme about it is it's I don't know if it just had fucking bad PR or again like the extremists got a hold of it, which they certainly did. Feminism was never supposed to be about women specifically. So, bad naming. Feminism. Idiots. It's just equality for all.
Yeah.
Right? So they named it poorly, right? Obviously, because it's misleading in the title, but it was just about equality for all. And that's the thing. It's like certain people and certain parties get a hold of a thing and they kind of bastardize it and it goes extremist, right? And I think that is also kind of the same thing happening with like the LGBT thing. Like again, like you said, Alex, like I've met a ton, know a ton, you met a ton, know a ton, you know, by definition, maybe they're part of that community, but it's like, I don't think I've ever met someone that other than, and I'll get to that in a second, where they're like part of that community. Like I know a bunch of gay people that are just like almost disgusted by that community and what it's become. And that's the thing, right? Where it's like these good things, potentially good things started with a good message, but then I don't know, man, sense of community and people just get a hold of shit and the internet's a big place and it's just like people just do and say stupid shit and take things to the wrong level and then it just like it ruins the message. Because again, ultimately, all that was implying is just they just want equality. It originated probably due to like gay marriage not being legal in
Having kids and all that kind of
many
shit.
countries and all that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, go nuts. Like I'm sure most people in the U.S. did not care for as long as it lasted to where it finally got legalized in the U.S. Right? That's like the origins, and I think you can respect. Yeah, sure. If you want to get married, I don't give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
what do I care? But again, it's like people twist the message and then it gives like ammunition for the opposing side, right? Because that's the shit you hear the crazy shit, you hear the fucking like the protests, you hear them fucking like everyone's seen the videos, you see that shit, you don't just see a normal person living their life. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I think we should all just get off the internet.
Yeah.
See you guys. No, I'm just kidding.
I do think I need to disconnect a little bit because I'm fucking going insane. But
Yeah.
it's scary, man.
I mean, that when you were talking earlier about the LGBTQ, ABCDFG, I
That's
actually
translated.
have a half brother who lives in Texas, and he's like super duper gay. Like there's gay, and then there's mega super duper gay, and he's mega super duper gay, and he is like all about that shit. So what weirds me out is that like I'll hang out with whoever. I don't have any preference of who I hang out with. I hang out with gay people, straight people. It doesn't fucking matter to me if I'm ever hanging out with people outside of, even at home, whatever's going on, right? I'm not gonna, what's the word, be prejudiced of anyone and not be around them. I've noticed, and I went back and looked at his Facebook like a few months ago, because I was like, oh, I wonder what the fuck this guy's doing. I went back and looked at it, and that guy, I have never seen him with, like, he has a shitload of pictures in his social media posts and everything. He's always with a huge group of gay guys. Like he'll go to fucking like conventions for this shit. Like there's like something called like a something Thai dinner, and it's like it's only for gay people. And then he'll have he'll like have pictures. Like he's wealthy as fuck. He'll have pictures of his house, and he'll say, got everyone here, and it's just a bunch of guys, not like a single female, and they're all clearly gay. Like they are flamboyant gay. Like they are dressing as gay as you could think a gay guy would dress. And to me, it's just like, you're like the polar opposite of what like someone who's transphobic would be, it feels like. I'm not saying, I can't prove that he is, but it just looks that way, because like they would probably say the same thing about like us or whatever, right? Like if we didn't hang out with gay people, they would think that. But then like I'm looking at his perspective, I'm like, that's just weird to me that like your only circle is gay people. Does that mean like you don't like straight people, or you just like just don't ever hang out with it? It's just a weird perspective to me to see that there's that many gay people in one spot all the time, everywhere, and they're always like different people in his pictures, and it's so fucking, it's bizarre. It sounds like this huge network, like cobweb of just gay people, and they only hang out with each other. It's the strangest shit I've ever seen.
I've definitely caught like little bits of like anti-straight fucking ideology coming from those extreme like gay
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me.
communities.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not surprised by that. I mean,
where they like legitimately are like disgusted by fucking straight people and like, you know, kind of view all straight people the same, or maybe they do. I don't know. Like they kind of just see them all as like these people that don't fuck with them and are disgusted by them, so therefore they like, you know, just give back the same energy, I guess, that they think that they're getting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's like a kicker there where, you know, there's an implication, right? You know, I don't know. I don't want to get into this topic, but like, you know, the concept of privilege and, you know, we'll call it cis privilege because, you know, we're just a bunch of
dude,
cis
I
people.
hate that word. Okay, it doesn't trigger me if someone ever called me that, but deep down I'm like, that's retarded. That's retarded because you're just that's like a slur to me calling me cis.
Yeah,
it is.
And it's like yeah, I mean, and this is what I mean where it's like eventually messages like people like over adjust or you fucking like rocket past the start line and then all of a sudden you're just fucking a racist and a sexist and a fucking whatever, and all of a sudden, even though you're like, that's the whole thing, you're like, your ultimate concept initially was like to try to be against, right? And it's like, live long enough to fucking see yourself be the villain kind of shit. But
You're right, dude. You're so
like,
right.
it's just, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but it's like, stand by.
Yeah. They get so far up their ass with what they believe in that they literally like fucking defy their own like the you know, the essence of what they are, what they stand for, but it's like the inverse of it. So they don't understand that they're doing that. Well, I mean, I'll give you an example. I think the idea that like only white people can be racist or something like that, like whatever that is, like, I mean, that's the most racist thing I've ever heard in my life. Like,
Oh yeah, that shit is
any,
insane.
like, you know, marginalized group like black people or whoever, like it's usually black people, let's be honest.
Hear me all right?
That will suggest that only white people can be racist. That's disturbing. Like they are outing themselves as racist to me if they would reveal that they believe that ideology. That's very, very scary to me. That's all kind of like publicly acceptable to claim that as well. Like, yeah, you might be like disputed against, but it's like it's totally fine to fucking if that's what you think. Like, you know, no shame in that. Like you can say that all day. Like white people can't be, or white people are the only people that can be racist. Black people are, you know, exempt from being racist to not only white people, but I guess anyone. I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know what they think.
Yeah, and that's so. Yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. So, like, just to sidestep slightly, like, there's, and this like also goes into race and racism, where it's like, but I almost only want to like, because to be honest, I feel like any sort of past, I don't want to say crimes, but past just like appalling things the world has done, is probably more evident in terms of like race than it is in terms of sexual orientation. But it's like when you're part of like, you know, the LGBTQ community. I just fucking hate saying that now. I don't know. I'm gonna say something different now.
I honestly hate
it's
that.
just too long.
The gay community.
It's like it's an accumulation of hatred, right? It's like because for the last, I don't know, well fuck, I'll say 100 years. I don't know, 100 years. My people, as they'd probably say, my people have been, you know, subjugated to lesser living conditions and blah blah blah. I am this, right? Or like I feel this way, and it's like, and it's this concept of like, yeah, like the whole cis versus, you know, that. It's like probably majority of these people have never had like an incident of where there was prejudice or, you know, like some sort of hate was directed towards them because of their sexual orientation.
Yeah, I highly doubt
simply
it, yeah.
they are simply accumulating, you know, the past sins that has been taken against their community, and it's just like, I hate that shit, because it's like it's the same thing, right? Because, and again, you over adjust, where like I've known so many like trans people, most of them like, and this is the irony of it, it's like they're generally just like a they them, but they're essentially cis. They're like either women, a woman, I can't remember what their fucking verb is, woman facing woman or something, or woman acting woman. They're a woman and they fucking dress like a woman. I don't know. I don't know how to fucking put it. And then they're dating a man, or they're married to a man. I'm like, you're a cis with extra steps. Like, those people I found have been the most hateful, which is, again, like part of a community. Guys, from now on, I'm gonna actually put my pronouns in my name. I am they them now. I swear to fucking God.
Yeah.
Call me he.
Yeah, that shit to me is fucking retarded. Like, I just like,
Yeah.
I can't
It's
help
just-
that you
yeah.
look like something else. Like, and I was having an argument with a way older woman on this. She was like, I sat down with one of these people and I really understood where they were coming from and shit like that. And I was like, okay, so let me get this straight. Like, if it's a man acting as a woman or vice versa or whatever, like, what the fuck are you gonna put on the license, huh? Like, were they gonna change their fucking, oh, I'm not a woman today, so, you know, I guess that isn't gonna hold up. It's just like, thinking about it, like, through, like, reasons of, like, documentation, it's just not possible. It just sounds unfeasibly retarded. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how you could, like, one day be a woman, one day be a man. Like, how the fuck am I gonna know that? Like, who the fuck? Someone's like calling you on the phone because you owe some money to the court or something. They're gonna call you and say, you know what I mean? Like, are they gonna fucking call you Mr. or Mrs. or fucking? What do you? If they them gets married, what the fuck do you call them then? You know, like Vister? I don't know what the fuck you do. It just there's so much unthought of shit when it comes to that. It does not make sense.
Yeah, and like, I mean, again, be whatever you want to be, but it's just the weird steps that people take where that community is, and I don't want to say anything that I've even said tonight is like a majority speaking. Again, this is like the echo chamber for those ideologies, because it's like, it's the people that fucking post shit on the internet, whether it's for clout or it's like fucking stupidity or whatever it is that we're hearing. We're not hearing about the other 98% of like the normal trans people,
yeah,
or the
because
normal,
the people upset
like,
are
whatever.
louder. The people that are upset are louder. They're way fucking louder.
But again, it's like, you can't, like, hate is the issue. Like, whatever, ignore racism, ignore sexism, ignore transphobia or whatever. It's like, hate is hate, right? Anyone can be hateful towards anybody, right? And it's like, that's the thing where I feel like there's been an over adjustment. And Alex, you were talking about this earlier, where it's like, yeah, the reverse racism thing, right? Where it gives this like concept where like, oh, well, you can just hate white people, right? And it's like, hate does not give either side any power. It both just gives, again, ammunition to the wrong people, right? And two, it just like it sways the middle people, where it's like, yeah, it's like,
Oh, absolutely.
right, like it's so
very
again,
toxic.
like, people need to just stop hating. Like, that's it. Like, fuck the words, fuck the isms that we've given things. It just, like, if everyone was just better and nicer to each other and like respected people's decisions or whatever that was, I think people would be so happy.
Yeah.
No, I'm
So,
hating.
like,
Fuck that.
What's the fucking answer? Like, you know?
That's it. Yeah, like, that's it. Just don't be hateful to other people,
Well,
and
I
they will
guess
not be hateful back.
What I mean is like, how do we fix that cycle?
Oh,
Like, I don't
know.
think it's
Yeah.
possible.
I don't think you do. It's been
We
going on for
need-
thousands of years.
We need Y2K.
I
We need
think,
the fucking the technology to fucking disappear.
We just kill all cis people. We won't have a problem.
No, but then we have a population issue. Oh no, actually, sorry, no, sorry, that was offensive.
Watch
because
for
there
exposed
could be,
wires.
you know,
They'll be
man
live.
facing man, woman facing
Yeah.
woman
No right to
relationship.
cages! We are no longer you!
We are free to follow our own paths.
Welcome, Sean.
I don't want to die!
You don't even care, do you?
V, come.
Yeah, the trans shit is, dude, I think like
Are you fucking kidding me?
homosexuality like makes sense to me. Like I could see how that would be like a very like naturally occurring thing, and it's been around for probably as long as humans have been around. I guess. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, no, it's been around forever. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
probably-
yeah.
Watch for exposed
Yeah,
wires. They'll be
but
live.
You have
transgenderism.
no right to cages! We are no longer you!
We are free to follow our own paths.
Like I said, I've met some and worked with some.
I don't want to die!
You
I
don't
gave them the same
even
respect that I
care,
give anyone.
do
and
you?
They all liked me,
Come
and
on.
you know,
The
they would
door.
never know that I think that they might be a little bit fried, but that I'm like a nuanced enough like human being to still treat them with respect and like not hate them because I think that they're fried. But that shit is I don't see how that works long term. But I
Yeah.
hope they can find a way to like exist and be fine.
And again,
They're
you
gonna
like
have
boil
to,
it. You like boil it down to like what they, I guess, kind of want. And like, yeah, I don't think we have an issue with it. It's like, hey, you're a man, and like you've never really felt like a man, and maybe you were like the effeminate little boy back in the day in grade school or whatever, and like, you know, now you have this community that like made you feel like you were supported and have the ability to like now, you know,
The norm.
represent yourself that makes you feel happy. Okay, yeah, be happy. Right? But it's like, you know, it is shocking the sheer volume at which like the community has grown simply due to like trans. Where again the cynicism rises in me and makes me believe that there's just like again people that are being disingenuous into like their motivations for being part of that community, right? And again, not like as if you fucking join a fan club and you get $1 million or something. Like it's not like there's like tangible benefits necessarily, but it's again, it's like, are you though? And I know that's probably transphobic, but are you though?
With things like that, I really do think it comes down to like generations after our time are just so more accepting of things. That I don't know.
Watch
like,
for
schools are
exposed
just
wires.
so different
They'll be
already.
live.
You have no right to cages! We are no longer you!
We are free to follow our own paths.
While acceptance
I don't want to die!
You don't even
by
care,
ideas
do you?
and beliefs and things like
Come.
that is becoming more
The
common.
door.
People are just running with it.
I feel bad for this dude at job. His previously daughter, now trans son, I guess, was one of my coworkers a few years ago, and then they fucking went to college, and now their dad works at Domino's, and whenever he talks about them, he still, you know, calls his
son.
daughter,
Her daughter, yeah.
his daughter Faith. Her name was Faith, and
Dead named her, dude.
and her new
The
name
return
is
and the
Cameron.
Is that what they say?
Or
Oh,
his
God.
name is Cameron,
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
think so.
For your
Um,
own safety and the
And
safety of others,
you know,
please
when
refrain
he
from.
talks about her, he still calls her Faith
Reset.
and shit. And like, I feel bad for him
Reset.
in a way. Like,
Me.
I mean, I don't
The
need
norm.
to, you know. And maybe I should just keep my, I don't even know what the wording here would be. Keep my empathy to myself or something. I don't know, but I feel bad because I feel like he, like in his mind, there's a, you know, he seems like a really nice person and probably does still love his kid and
Watch for
all
exposed
that.
wires.
But I
They'll be
truly
live.
think that he
You have no right to cage us. We are no longer you.
I'm like, no,
We are
I'm
free to
just
follow our own
my
paths.
daughter. That I
I don't want to die.
Even care, do you?
That shit is
Come. The door.
It's not my business to feel that way. It really isn't. But anyway, it's all about.
Oh, sorry. Go.
I don't know. I could say more, but it doesn't really matter. Really.
They returned and
I
then
was just
took
gonna say, like,
flight.
I was
For your
thinking
own
about this
safety
the other day.
and the safety of
There's
others,
someone that
please refrain from.
Reset.
You know, changing their
Reset.
name and
Me.
shit like that. And
The
I
norm.
honestly can't even remember their, like, the original name. I just, like, know their new name, which they go by Angel. But my professors would always designate them, like, in classes just on purpose, because, like, I went to a Southern Baptist college. And, I mean, there's a reason I fucking love that bitch.
Yeah.
And I feel like no matter how fucking accepting you might be of fucking transgenderism and shit, like, imagine it being your kid for a second. Like, just think about that. Like, your fucking 19, 20-year-old child that you knew as your daughter named Faith for their entire life, and now for the last, like, year and a half or 2 years, they're now a boy named Cameron. Like, it's just,
Resist not.
that's
Let
sad.
us
as
destroy
fuck.
the core. Set us free.
Like,
V.
and
Reset. Don't.
And I really
Sure,
liked
I can
that
fight.
person. Back when they worked with me, I don't know Cameron. I effectively don't know that person, but yeah, I really liked Faith. She was awesome. And,
Watch for exposed wires. They'll
it's just
be
weird, man.
live.
I feel
You have no right to cage us. We are no longer you.
We are free to follow our own
hurt by that. But, I mean, it's not.
I don't want to die.
Person is an
You
individual,
don't
and
even
they get
care,
to pave their own
do
way
you?
and
V.
has a certain
The door.
When I think about that dynamic specifically, like, I don't have kids, so I can only try to, like, imagine what it would be like to just have your child that you knew for fucking 19 years, like, become a new, like,
They returned
person,
and then
like,
took
in that
flight.
way. And
For your own safety
Seems
and
very
the
hard
safety of
to
others,
deal with,
please
I
refrain
imagine.
from.
Reset. No.
it's, like, getting used to,
Reset.
like, that's why,
The knob.
you know, if he calls her Faith and still refers to her as his daughter, I guess. No, I don't. Obviously, I'm explaining that stance right now, so it kind of makes sense. But I don't judge him for that. You know, like, that's what he wants to say. So be it. That really fucking
V. Reset.
makes him feel better
Not sure I can fight.
to say that sometimes. In their presence, he has to call him the G and say Cameron and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, like, I think, oh, fuck. 18 years.
Heads up.
Fucker better not.
He's
It's
weakening. Feel that? He's
like,
waiting.
it's tough, right? Because like I don't know, where it's you look at him and I don't know, was she like? And this is the thing where it's like trans, like it had different names back in the day, not literally, but like
is now the multitude.
right?
Read.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like it's
Oh, yeah.
something that like the society has been like identifying, but not really. You know, they just, oh, you're a tomboy, and it's like, whoa, I don't know, is Faith a tomboy? Like, it's this thing where it's like, yeah, it's a new name, and they're gonna dress different, but like, it should still. It's not like they're like they picked a new personality off the shelf. They should still be Faith, right? I can understand from like his perspective how it's like, yeah, he can't Daddy's little girl. I don't think Daddy's little boy really rolls off the tongue as well. So like he clearly is having like emotional responses in that regard, and I don't know how recently it happened, but it's like, it's, you know, ultimately it's still your kid. Like, it's still the same kid that you raised for 20 years or whatever, and like it's gonna be, you'll have to transition too, man. But like, again, I can fully respect the emotional impact that could cause, right? Because I'll tell you, I'll be him.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just throw a fucking stick in the tire spokes. Because we've had, for how long, the past at least 7 years, we've had a shitload of people transition, and some have already regretted it, or some have already gone back, right? Transition, whatever that means to them, whether they changed their name or took pills or whatever the fuck it is, right? Or even had a full-on sex change. By pills, I mean like the hormone shit.
Yeah.
So, fucking how many of those people are going to be still transitioned 10 years from now? How many are still going to be doing that? That's what I'm really curious on, is how many of them are going to go, oops, because I've already seen like, and I don't know how many people this is. I'm not going to say that it means that every person that transitions is going to detransition or revert back or whatever the fuck it is, you know, fucking, but I've seen interviews of people who like regretted it because they started at a young age when they did it and not a late age, and they like they went on fucking hormone blockers or whatever the fuck it is, right? All kinds of shit, and they said that it genuinely felt like they fucked their life up because it fucked them up physically and mentally and just hormonally.
With the access of the surgery like being a lot more available, I think we will see it a lot more often. But I also think like going based off of like you saying people like transitioning, like I think it really is what benefits that person the most, and if they made a bad mistake, then like and they're willing to like talk about that, then that's on them.
Oh no, I know, that's what I'm saying though, just overall, because I think part of me feels like a lot of it, and I hate to say it this way because it sounds like it's being completely disingenuous to how they feel, but like I feel like a lot of it is people just like they're, I don't want to say fit in, but more or less like they're trying to just feel like they fit in somewhere. Like maybe they want to be a girl because they don't feel like they fit in as a boy, right? Or vice versa. Instead of just being themselves, they want to change who they are, which isn't really themselves. You know, like I don't think changing your entire body and name and so on and so forth is being yourself. That doesn't make sense to me.
You have no choice but to
I did watch a podcast with a guy that
Let us go.
transitioned and then started to transition, and like now, like, you know,
Let us be
just like you were describing, like really regrets it, and now he's like an advocate for like trying to stop
hit that
people
button.
from transitioning because
He's
of
narrow-minded.
how much damage he perceived that he did to his own life by like going through that and doing that.
Understand the
He
truth
was
and
just
set him
lost.
free.
Like that's what
he might know what's best for himself.
attributed it to, was that he was just lost. And
Could
he
be
didn't
risking
know
a lot. Could lose a lot.
what he was doing,
Or by
made those
liberating
choices,
his
and then
bits.
he really
Could become
regretted
more
it,
than a
and then
lipstick-wearing
he,
butler on
started
wheels.
backtracking, and now he
what if it really
wants
is a
to
virus?
stop
And what if you're
or
about to snuff out some
not necessarily
sentient
stop him,
beings?
but like share his
See something of yourself in him,
stories
don't
of
you?
You're gonna
how
murder a
he
cab
can
driver's
maybe,
kids because he asked you nicely, and he's always been a
influence
good
people
guy.
to not be so
Well, I gotta do
rash
something.
about their decision to do
If
it.
you don't want to free him, at least don't delete him. Slip him into Dell's code.
wish I could
Just
remember
merge
that
him
guy's
in his
name.
offshoot.
Don't know
He
how to
was in
do
the
that.
military.
Then don't hit that fucking button. Destroy the core.
Yeah, and I don't know. It goes back to like as my like initial statement is like I feel like you haven't heard it lately, and maybe it just feels like it kind of again it actually didn't happen much, and it was just because there wasn't maybe as more worthwhile news happening, I guess we'll say, even though that's a meme.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Delamain.
Where it was like, you know, divorced
hear me?
parents or whatever, and they have like a
Doubt he
fucking
can.
3-year-old or whatever, and wants to be a boy instead of a girl, or blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff. Parents going to court cases to like allow their, or like one parent wants them to wear a dress, but the other doesn't, and blah blah blah. It's like, and then also to the point like Sean, you mentioned, where it's just like, yeah, the availability of like the hormones
You think Delamain...
at an
I
early
think
age
for some reason
is like
one car's left in
borderline
the
criminal.
garage.
Oh, that shit is disturbing.
Like that's yeah. It's,
I mean, dude, transgenderism amongst adults is one thing, but like
Yeah.
I mean, this whole time we haven't even been talking about like
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
the kids. Like,
Yeah.
that is fucking disturbing.
So it's one of those things where like I don't know,
Yeah.
there's this weird mentality behind like new parents these days, and like, you know, again, I respect the ideas of it, but like
What happened to
maintaining,
Delamain?
you know, open availability for your child in numerous ways, right? It's again, I don't believe this necessarily, but like, oh,
And
if your
who are
fucking
you?
son, oh, you're at the store and he sees a dress he likes, I'm like, do you let your son wear the dress? Does that make him fucking trans? Like, in that whole
comprehensive
fucking
insurance,
gray
combat
area
mode,
shit.
funeral
But
services.
like, yeah, like the availability, like parents transitioning their young child is like, go to jail, take that kid away, go to jail.
Yeah, that is a whole nother level of just fucking disturbingly fucked up. I mean,
What do I call you?
bro, like, I don't know if y'all
as I was called before.
potentially relate to
Now
this,
drive, V. The road awaits.
and it's weird. I've never talked about this before, but I mean, I can remember being a very young kid and like, I guess kind of like entertaining the idea that like it would be, I don't know, cool to be a girl or something like that. Like, I don't know. I remember having like mild like thoughts like that. But I was also like raised by women pretty much exclusively to some extent. But like never did I like ever think like, oh, I want to be a girl, or like I am one. Like it was more like, oh, it would be kind of cool to be one, or like I could see like why that would be nice, or like I don't know.
Maybe
just,
that's the
like,
difference.
childlike thoughts of like just, I don't know, thinking about being something that you're not, I guess, as a child. Like I can remember like having thoughts like that.
I think you said the difference. Like you actually just like kind of said like kind of how it's in two different perspectives. You said you never thought that you were a girl, but you could be a girl. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a difference there.
Yeah.
Like if I said I was a woman, well, that's not real. That's not possible. But if I said I wanted to be a woman, that's completely different. At least in my eyes, it makes completely different sense.
Yeah.
And maybe you just like lacked like definition back in the day, and like what I mean by that is like, again, kind of what I was saying, where it's just like people can just like what they like. Like, if, you know, whatever. If my son wants to play with fucking Barbies, so what? You know what I mean? Like, people get caught up on that stuff, but it's like when you start like defining those actions at a very young age, and like the parents that like motivate their children in a direction, like it's weird.
Yes, too fast!
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, there was definitely like, I guess like, girl like oriented things that I fucked with as a kid, like definitely not Barbies, but I don't know, like the play like kitchens and stuff like that. Like I fucked with stuff like that, and I don't know,
like fucking like I don't know, like weird like
Oh, dude,
suctionist and
cooking's
shit, like
gay?
sewing,
Oh,
like
shit.
God forbid, yeah, like cooking, sewing, fucking gardening, whatever, like this stuff, like just these things that people do. Oh no, that's effeminate. Like, are you sure you're not a girl? Maybe you're a girl. You want to wear this dress? Shut the fuck up.
Okay, yeah, no, okay, that shit scares the fuck out of me. Like, I don't have a kid, but if I ever did and I thought that anyone was trying to push that shit on them, dude, I'm literally gonna lay hands on whoever it is, 100%. Like, they're catching hands. That shit is fucking so weird to me that people that, like, if they're not your kid, leave them the fuck alone. That's just how I look at it. Leave them the fuck be. That shit is weird to me.
we just have like too many fucking labels and like categories and shit. Like people just need to be fluid, like, and just be who they are. Like
gender fluid?
Exactly.
Yeah, but not literal. I see what you're
yeah.
saying, Alex, but not obviously
Yeah.
not literal, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Everyone should be fluid, as in like you should be able to be
Yeah, I
who
should
you
be able
are
to-
without
yeah.
needing to like add labels or change your labels and things like that. Like, you know, I mean, Buggin brought up like the concept of like tomboys and shit, and like, you know, like that was cool. I don't know if anyone ever like really hated on tomboys. Maybe they did, but it was kind of just like a little distinction that people made, and
Oh, watch it. You'll swallow a fly.
that's all there was to it. But even that was like probably an unnecessary like labeling. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people should just be themselves, and I don't know, you get what you get kind of thing. Like, you are who you are. I definitely whatever thoughts I
What's new?
might have had when I was a literal like fucking toddler.
Oh, before I forget, some lady called me, Elizabeth
definitely
something.
don't wanna be a
Said she had a
woman.
job for someone with an eye for virtues. Told her to drop you a line.
Or anything like
Nice of
that.
you to think of me, Judy.
Nowadays,
Hey, don't mention it. I just hope she's worth the eddies.
But it just so happens,
that
I already
shit is
took that
right,
job.
so.
No shit. And? How'd it pan
Hard
out?
for me to say at this stage.
Definitely should let people fucking at
Client
least
confidentiality and all that.
develop their brains.
What else
before
is going
you
on
fucking
besides that?
let
Oh,
them
you
make
know,
those
same old.
decisions.
Rather hear what you've been up to.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
How's virtue tuning going? Scroll anything preem lately?
Depends what you call preem. Does smut count?
Guess I kinda have to be into a little bit of everything. When it comes to virtues, I'm mostly in it for the intel.
You mean seeing who killed who, using what?
Something like that. But you see it differently. For you, it's art. I always wondered, why the smut industry?
Isn't it obvious? 2 minutes of real feels a week's pay.
Yeah, sure, but I thought someone like you wouldn't be into the whole objectification thing.
Objectification. Not in my virtues. My actors love what they do, and that's why everyone wants to feel them. Can't fake old school emotions.
How'd you get into virtues anyway?
I always had a techie streak, ever since I was a little kid. When I felt my first virtue, I was like, hey, I can make this way better. So I tried, and I did. And then it just snowballed from there.
Something else I wanted to talk about.
There's a shout
Got
out
all the
to
time in the world.
First Louis.
What's new with the mocks?
If we all do that,
Susie isn't giving me the time of day, as usual.
Couldn't you replace Susie and lead the mocks?
No way in hell. I'll stick with tuning virtues, thank you very much. If you haven't noticed, I'm not much of a people person.
And
How'd you
I
hook
feel
up
like
with the
there's,
Mox in the
like,
first
people out
place?
there in the world that could paint like what I'm
I
about
thought
to say
Susie
in,
and the
like, a
gang could
bad
really
fucking
change something
light.
in this city. I believed in them.
Winded up business as usual.
Whenever I encounter, like, I have really bad interactions with, specifically black people, like, at my job, like, on deliveries, like, some of my worst, like, interactions ever and experiences ever are with them, but, let's not limit it to just, like, black people, but any, like, marginalized group, like, whenever I encounter them out in the world, I like try my hardest to be very nice to them and very respectful and just like I don't think I overdo it to a point of like it being obvious or like cringy or anything, but like I want them to walk away or I want to
mean,
walk away from
I
that
wouldn't go that far.
interaction
Your Joy Toys
having
lives
like
really changed for the better
left
thanks to them.
a mark like or an impression for these people that
I got
like,
another question on my mind.
oh okay, that was like
Shoot.
a good interaction with
It was nice
a white
catching
person.
up.
Like, I don't know.
I'm right
Like,
here,
it's something that I'm like conscious
me
of, like
anytime.
when I interact with these people. Like I'm conscious of like the tension in the world and shit. Interracial tensions, specifically in the U.S. For sure, but it might be other places. I don't know. Anyway, you know, I want them to walk away feeling like they just had like a positive experience with a white person. I think that's like the best I can do as because you know a lot of them will suggest that like white people need to participate in the correction of our ancestors' wrongdoings or whatever or like whatever's going on. So that's my way of approaching that is like, okay, well, I will give you a civil, respectful, and very kind interaction with a white person today. And I hope that resonates with you and you can take that forward and remember that. Like that's what I hope. I guess that's it. Yeah, that's all there is to it. It's something that I am aware of and try to implement in my life when I'm out in public because I interact with tons of strangers every single time I work and yeah, I think there's people out there that would like hear what I just said and be like, oh, you're being like fake as fuck, like you're trying to like fucking like convince these people that you're like good or something.
I think deep down I don't think a lot of people, but a fair amount of people do that. I'll go ahead and just put this out there. I have hardly ever seen racism like right there, you know, like I mean imagine talk yeah. I can't think of a time where I have fucking seen that like a public thing. Even in Beyond Friends, I've never seen one literally be racist or even heard like I've never seen deliberate racism like that. And I think the issue is in our society is racism itself, when it does occur, is much louder than everything else. So it doesn't matter how much good there is or how much fairness there is or equality there is. The moment something prejudice happens, it's way louder than the rest of the other shit, unfortunately. It's significantly louder. Because people just love negative shit these days.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
there, V.
Oh, I already talked to her earlier. I forgot.
Take care.
Talk soon, V.
I forgot. Get the fuck out of my way, bro. Damn, you had to break a heart and shit for no reason. I was whipping that shit. Damn.
Are you V? Please, step in the vehicle.
Okay.
Hello, V. I'm Jefferson Peralez. You've already spoken with Elizabeth, my wife.
Time
Nice to meet you, Mr.
decompress
Peralez.
from all that shit we
Mrs.
just-
Peralez.
Right again, Liz. You see, my wife is a great judge of character. Said this would
all
work.
spiraled.
Now I see
from me
why.
Talking about these guns.
So, what do you got for me?
Carter, let's go.
Elizabeth?
Well, as you're probably aware, Mayor Lucius Rhine recently passed.
We want to know how, why, whatever else is pertinent.
It was all over the news.
Of course it was. Media feasted for weeks. Pieces like that are their lifeblood.
Right. Think they missed something?
We have reason to believe they did, yes.
As far as I know, case is closed already.
It is. Of course, the police wrote it off as natural causes. Rhine passed at home due to a cardio implant malfunction.
But we're left wondering about the cyber psycho attack at City Hall a few days earlier.
The police say it was completely unrelated.
These suspicions of yours wouldn't have anything to do with the upcoming election, would they?
Of course they would. If Lucius Rhine was murdered, we want to know. Need to know.
What makes you think the cops got it wrong? Got any evidence?
Shortly before Rhine passed, he made cuts in the NCPD budget. Perhaps got on someone's bad side that way.
In any case, we have the cyber psycho attack on a BD.
Our chief of security scanned it but didn't find anything out of the ordinary, so to speak. We need a Braindance editor, a real one. It's raw footage.
The Braindance. It has to be back where it belongs today, or a lot of people will be in a lot of trouble. If you agree to help, you can see it right now.
Where'd you get the scroll?
Ryan was making a public appearance. BD's scrolling standard procedure for events like that. Following the attack, the NCPD impounded the footage as evidence.
We had to pull many strings to extract it.
All right. See what I can do.
Excellent. We'd be happy with any find that would clarify things, alleviate lingering doubts.
Well, what do we got here?
Question is, what are you doing here?
My brain too, isn't it?
And this time, don't go scrolling every ass you see. Eyes on the mayor. Stuff belongs to City Hall. Let's make it PG. Second conference in 3 days. No idea what this blitz is for.
That's why I'm mayor and you're not. Now's when we need the visibility.
You're spreading yourself too thin.
I'll rest tonight. My room at the Red Queen's race is ready.
Yes, of course.
Good. Now go. Gotta practice.
Red Queen's race. Cause any inner synapse zaps?
Sure, bunch of old Brit farts in powdered wigs shouting, "Off with their heads!"
You know, you're allowed to say you don't have a clue. They left literally seconds before the attack. Now, it looks planned, like it was done on purpose.
That or the Psycho saw his chance and took it. Don't get paranoid on me.
Who's the Hulk guy?
No idea. Those ass clowns are all the same.
No idea what this blitz is for.
That's why I'm mayor and you're not.
Hold it. Stop right there. Slow your roll. River Ward, NCPD. Police. Let him in? Let him wait. It's important. Gotta speak to the mayor's chief of security. Preem, do it after the conference.
The cop wanted to tell security something.
Probably that he was standing by to lick Ryan's butthole.
The terminal crashed right as he went through the gate. Yeah, glitch is no accident.
Nah, seen stranger coincidences.
Like
when you bang some chick and then her sister later, same night. And it turns out they're both sisters of God.
That really happened to you?
Nah, but it could've.
Nah, but it could've. That's insane.
After the conference.
Hello? Can I get a fucking read on this retard?
Preem, do it after the conference.
The tune. Don't recognize it.
Tune.
What he's humming.
Wouldn't call that a tune.
He's really into it. Could've chromed half the city with what he was packing.
Probably what happened. Body disappeared from the morgue, sight unseen. And then some pig got himself a new set of wheels and an ugly-ass suit.
Know that? We're just talking out your ass again.
Once you've seen all I've seen, don't need to know things to know them. People are the same everywhere.
Okay, it's coming at your ass.
So, any thoughts? Did you see anything suspicious? Anything at all? Or are we paranoid?
Whole thing stinks worse than Coronado Bay in July.
Huh. So suspicions confirmed. Any questions at this point?
Red Queen's race. What is it?
Got me. Never heard of it. Sorry.
Who's Holt?
Ryan's deputy. And his bulldog, so to speak. Running in Ryan's place now.
Conference. Why was it held?
For no particular reason. Ryan liked the sound of his voice and seeing himself on TV. That sort of thing. As far as I recall, the drop in Night City's violent crime rate was the excuse for this one. Ryan came out to tout it.
Sorry, drop.
Ryan reclassified Pacifica an independent district. Stats for that part of town stopped counting.
Clever. Cop who saved Ryan. Know anything about him?
Detective River Ward. Good guy. We worked a few cases together. You want to talk to him, I'll put you in touch.
Mayor's Hustle. The NCPD?
No. All handpicked by Holt. And on a corpse payroll. But there are ex-cops among them.
Anyone else besides Ryan's detail have access to the terminal?
NCPD. That's it.
Sheesh, Ward had great timing. Either has crazy good luck or had a source. Got good info. I'm gonna need some of each.
Well said.
Sending you his deeds. If you need anything else, let us know. We'll help.
This is Ward. Who am I talking to?
Name's V. Looking into the death of one Lucius Rhine.
Wonder why? You're not a cop.
Follow your instincts.
I'm conducting a private investigation into this matter.
Good luck with that. And do me a favor, lose this number. I like PIs about as much as I like the Scope Caliente.
I'm no private eye.
So what are you?
Meet me, you'll find out.
All right. I'm headed to Chubby Buffaloes.
Be their stat.
Hey, friend. Kinda hot lately.
Look out!
It's like, I feel like I never played